It's time for the main event. We've been teasing it for a couple of weeks, and we have said that we need to get out in front of WrestleMania, so we are going to fantasy book a couple of matches on WrestleMania. Now, when I say we're going to fantasy book this, we're not going to tell you what we think that WWE is going to do. Rather, we're going to tell you what we would do if we had the pencil, if we were booking the card from today, November 11th, all the way to April 19th and 20th, 2025, WrestleMania in Las Vegas. Here's how we would book it. We're going to give you a couple title matches. We'll give you a women's match, an attraction match, not the whole card, but we're just going to hit the highlights. Now, full disclosure, we've talked about this just a little bit before doing this. I don't want to spoil everything. We've talked about it just a little bit. And what I will tell you is we all three have the exact same WWE Championship match. And what is that? The triple threat match, the biggest possible match that there could be at WrestleMania. And that is Cody Rhodes defending against both Roman Reigns and The Rock. So if that's the biggest possible match that can happen, okay, awesome. But how do we get there? Andy, kick us off. How would you get there from today to WrestleMania?
So from today to WrestleMania, kind of taking everything that have seen this week and leading forward, I would have Cody and The Rock be in the War Games match. Kind of how I laid out earlier about Rock just showing up the night of, coming in and hitting one move. I would have him come in, hit a rock bottom on Roman probably, and pin him 1, 2, 3, gets the win, establishes the new bloodline, which then takes us to Royal Rumble, where I would have Rock and Cody main event that show. But earlier in the night, I would have Roman win the Rumble to start the show off. Main event time, I would have Roman interrupt that match, costing The Rock. And then the next night or that Friday night, declaring he's going after Cody Rhodes in the world title. The Rock comes out, gets involved, tells him that, he would be champion if it wasn't for The Rock. Cody comes out and says, you know what? About 2 years of this, and I'm sick and tired of it. We are ending this at WrestleMania 41, and we're doing Rock versus Roman versus Cody. And, a lot of other stuff will happen in between, but those are like the major points that I would hit.
Jared, if you were booking it, any major points that you would do different if you're thinking about it along the way?
Man, I'm not going to give specific times at which I'd have this happen, but I would have Roman get his Ulafala back. So he can kind of take his attention away from most of the bloodline, the new bloodline right now. And then I think that you have Cody retain the title. You have Roman, he can get into the title picture however you want, if you want him to win the Rumble or whatever. But you have Roman and Cody going nose to nose, and they're mouthing off at each other, and we're setting up for this match. Boom, The Rock's music hits. And the way that I think you could absolutely get the most, hatred towards The Rock is if he does nothing at all to earn it. He just comes out and says, boys, last time I let y'all have this thing, I let the match happen. It ain't happening again because now The Rock is in the match. And there you have your three-way.
I like both of your points. I really do. Jared, I think you made a great point in saying that Roman needs to get the Ulafala back first so that he can then focus on the WWE Championship. I think that's a great point. I also think it's a great point about The Rock just wielding his power and saying, nope, forget that. I'm in the match. Forget you. Here's how I would do it. Andy, I was with you with Cody and The Rock one-on-one at the Rumble. But you know what I'm about to say. The Rock wins the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. He is the champion going into WrestleMania. I still think that Roman also wins the Royal Rumble that night. So we're seemingly headed towards Rock Roman one-on-one. And then somehow, some way, Cody Rhodes weasels his way back into it. The Cody crybabies come back up. We want Cody, blah, 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 blah. Cody gets back into the match, but Rock says, okay, we can make it a triple threat match. If you beat Jacob Fatu in night one, and then you win in night one, then you can be in the match in night two. Cody wins night one. Cody wins night two. He gets the championship back. And then the Raw after WrestleMania, Randy Orton punts Cody's head off, and we're off to the races with a Cody-Randy story that culminates at SummerSlam. That's what I would do.
I like it.
I like it. I think the only thing I would do different is I wouldn't have Rock win at Rumble. I'd have him win at Mania. And I would have him hold the belt hostage for a year and like show up on TV or video packages or whatever, like at a TKO board meeting as the champ and like all these other things where he like wielded his power there to then build to WrestleMania 42, you know, having Roman be the guy to take it or wherever the case is.
Andy, listen, a guy that is upset about people holding championships hostage. He's talking about Rock winning and holding it hostage. Here's
the thing. If it's for a storyline purpose, I'm fine with it. Brock was never for a storyline purpose. Okay. Brock was just because Vince loved Brock. That was it.
Well, Jared, we're not going to talk about Vince and Brock and what happened there.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't.
Of course not. No. Okay, so since we all three agreed on this, let me play devil's advocate and let me present Andy, or we all three said that Cody and Rock would face at the Rumble. Okay, what are the chances that we just go straight Cody Rock at WrestleMania instead of the Rumble? We go Cody Rock WrestleMania. So then the question becomes, Andy, what do you do with Roman Reigns at that point? Well, what would happen if you went Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania? Is that the only alternative for Roman if he's not in the main event?
Yes. Like, I don't think you can stretch Roman solo out to WrestleMania. I think this is the only other viable solution. I also think, like, you know, just throwing out ideas of possibilities. You said, you know, Cody would have to go through Jacob to get to Rock. I think it would be really interesting if Rock, we didn't know what the main event of WrestleMania 42 or 41 was, but Rock was champ and was going to fight somebody, and it was going to be either Cody or Roman if they got through their opponent, and you do this match and then do Cody versus, you know, Randy Orton or Kevin Owens or somebody like that. But yeah, if Roman is not involved in the world title picture, that is the only match that should happen.
Yep, I agree. I can't see anything else that would make sense for Roman other than Jacob Fatu.
I mean, I think having him against Solo is a step down at this point because, as Jared said, he's got to win the Ulafala back from Solo. So maybe you do that. Maybe Roman pulls double duty at Rumble. Maybe he wins the Ulafala and he wins the Royal Rumble or something like that. I even thought of a scenario where Roman wins the Rumble, but then Rock wields his power and just takes the match from him because that's what Rock does. Got a comment here from the man with 3 H's. I love that. I'm booking Cody to pin Rock clean. Me and my buddy Shawn have beef that goes back a couple of decades, of course, referring to Shawn Michaels and Triple H possibly having beef with The Rock. Jared, that's pretty funny, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to look at where everybody ended up. I mean, Triple H is running the company and Rock is above running the company. So,
and Shawn's running NXT. I mean, we're all... Yeah. It's all good. It's all gravy for all of us, right, Andy?
Oh, it's great. Like, I never would have thought, and I don't think anybody would have thought, looking at wrestling in 2024, that those three would be in the positions that they're in. Especially what we talked about last week with The Rock's debut in '96 when we talked about it. Like, if you'd have looked at somebody that night and said, that guy's going to be not only the most popular person in the world, but he's also going to be, like, on the board that is now in charge of WWE, nobody would ever believe you at all.
100%, you are correct. So we appreciate that comment, man with 3 H's. I won't give your government name there, but subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We would appreciate that so very much. All right, let's move on to the World Heavyweight Championship match. Full disclosure, Andy and I have the same match here, so let's throw this up real quick. We would both book Gunther to defend against John Cena in his final WrestleMania match. So, Andy, real quick, would you have John win or lose here?
I would have him probably lose.
Okay.
I would have Gunther beat him at WrestleMania in like a really good match, but I would still have Gunther win.
Yeah, I would have Gunther win as well. But Jared, you have Gunther in a different World Heavyweight Championship match. Who would you have the ring general go up against?
I'd have him go up against Braun Breaker, man. And I would not have Braun Breaker beat him this time. But again, like you two fine gentlemen were saying, he would put up a heck of a fight and almost beat Gunther. And then I would honestly keep the belt on Gunther until the next WrestleMania. Let Braun Breaker just keep destroying everybody. And you rerun that next year. Next time Braun wins. And then you could have a pretty good amount of time before he even gets anywhere near the WWE Undisputed title picture. But you have a year of Gunther just doing what he does, man. Just powerbombing the crap out of everybody and pinning them. And then next year, Braun Breaker gets his title.
All right. I like that. I really do. I like that because Braun Breaker is a star in the making. So, you can't just give him the title altogether. You got to build him up, and then Gunther's a great way to build him up. And, of course, Gunther's going to be a multi-time world champion, sending him over on the other side, having a feud with Cody, maybe take the title from Cody, who knows. So, Jared, I'm going to put you on the spot. Andy and I both included John Cena in that match. This is John Cena's final WrestleMania. He has said it. He's going to be there. He's going to have a match. So what do you do with the GOAT in his final WrestleMania?
Jacob Fatu, baby.
Jacob Fatu and John Cena. Oh, I'm assuming that Jacob squashes him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would be basically, everybody thought that Solo Sikoa would be like the next best thing we could see to Umaga and John Cena. It was nowhere near it. But now you take Jacob Fatu and put him in there with John Cena. That's as close as we can get to John Cena and Umaga ever again.
I mean, you're right. I think you're right.
Like it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. All right, let's talk about the women on the WrestleMania card. Andy, what is your main women's match? Doesn't have to be for a title, but what's your main women's match on the card?
So my main women's match is I would have Tiffany Stratton as champion defend against Charlotte Flair. That would be my women's match that I would have happen. The two pretty blondes going at it because that's what wrestling is all about apparently. But I think it's time for the new generation to get a massive win over Charlotte at WrestleMania, and I think this would really boost Tiffany to the next level by beating somebody like Charlotte at WrestleMania.
See, I completely agree. And then, Jared, I'll let you weigh in on my match as well, because my match is different. When I say I agree, Andy, I agree that the new generation needs a win over Charlotte Flair, but it's not going to be Tiffany Stratton that gets it done. It's going to be Jade Cargill that gets it done over Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. This match was teased on, I think, the season premiere of SmackDown when Jade Cargill made her first appearance there. I think it's the match in the making. I think if anybody, Jared, can make Jade Cargill look really, really good, it's Charlotte Flair. So if you want her to look the best way possible, put her in there with Charlotte. Let Charlotte put her over. But, I mean, Tiffany Stratton would be great as well. That's just where I would go with it. Jared, what are your thoughts on both of those?
I like both of them. As soon as you said that about the women's match, I didn't book one. But what came in my head was Tiffany Stratton against Charlotte Flair. I mean, that just popped in my brain as soon as you said that. But seeing what both of you all did, if we didn't have to worry about wrestling skill, I would have Jade Cargill against Tiffany Stratton. I think that would be the other match that was kind of going in my head. As long as you would not expose Jade Cargill. I don't know what level she's at right now, but if she can go with Tiffany, I say throw in there with Tiffany.
Yeah, that would be interesting, Andy. You're really showcasing the future of the WWE women's division on WrestleMania right there.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think that's, if you want to do something outside of, the four horsewomen and Bianca at WrestleMania, then that's your perfect opportunity to do that with Tiffany and with Jade.
Yep, I agree. All right, Andy, your men's attraction match, ours is very, very similar. So you give yours first. I'll weigh in with mine, and then we'll discuss.
So this is the match that should have happened at WrestleMania last year if people didn't get injured. But that would be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. That is, a marquee match. Honestly, depending on what the rest of the card looks like, I could see that potentially main eventing night one of WrestleMania, having Punk versus Rollins.
I like Punk versus Rollins, but I'm gonna double it up. I'm gonna add a third man to this match. I think it's Drew McIntyre. Now listen, Andy, I was with you when CM Punk came into the company that Punk Rollins is the match. Always has been. Their personal beef with each other spilled over onto, we saw Rollins' reaction when Punk returned. So obviously that's the match that we've built toward. But Jared, 2024 Drew McIntyre inserting himself into this feud, let's just blow it up and have them all three. Like, what's better than Punk versus Rollins? Throw Drew in there and let's just let them go. That's what I would do.
I'm happy either way it goes with either one of those two matches, man. I mean, I'm all in for it.
Yeah, Andy, would you be disappointed if they added Drew in there though?
I don't think I'd be disappointed, but I don't necessarily need to see another Drew Punk interaction for a while.
Well, you don't have to see. You don't have to see it until WrestleMania.
Be the last thing for them, but I mean, I'm not going to be upset because I know that match is going to be ridiculous if all three of them are together.
Sure, yeah, for sure. Either way, I mean, we just booked any of those matches, maybe with the exception of Tiffany and Charlotte, could main event night one of WrestleMania. Probably not main eventing night two. We're not taking that away from the WWE Championship spot, but any of those matches could easily main event night number one. We're going to talk all about WrestleMania as we continue down the road to WrestleMania, so make sure that you're locked in to our YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up on the video. That helps the algorithm. We would appreciate that so much. And again, if this is your first time subscribed, tell a friend. We are live every Monday night after Raw. And if you're listening on podcast, follow on whatever platform that is.